actually going to be the topic in our spring newsletter.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, Cretans. Hi, I know you can't see me. You don't need to see me because I'm interviewing the Honorable Judge O'Leary in the Cleveland Municipal Housing Court. Man, that's a mouthful, isn't it? So I wanted to invite everyone in. Remember, share this video. We're going to be talking about some things that are going on here in the housing court and some plans that Judge O'Leary has. And so I want to make sure that everybody stays in tune to see updates. Make sure, again, that you share this video and be informed and get to know what's going on. So, good morning and thank you for joining me.
Good morning.
All right, so let's talk a little bit. First, I'm going to ask you, how do you like being a judge so far? Is it good for you? Is it working for you?
Well, I love doing it, and it gives me a chance to go all around the city and see all of our neighborhoods and meet people. So, that's probably the best part of the job, that and the staff that's here. It's just a fantastic group of people that's here at Housing Court.
I just got a postcard that you're doing a housing clinic in my neighborhood. So
Yes.
Make sure people, know that you're sending out these postcards to let people know
Sure.
when they are and where they're going to be. What happens in a housing clinic so that people know why they should attend?
So what our neighborhood housing clinics are, we go out into the neighborhoods I think this year we have 8 of them scheduled. And I try to do it all throughout the city during the year so that people don't have to go more than about 10 minutes away from their home to be able to find out resources that affect their housing. So what we do in a neighborhood housing clinic, I go to the clinics, I have staff that's there, we take our laptops, and then if anybody has any questions about either cases or about properties that are near them, then we can help them to answer those questions. We also have partner agencies. There's usually about 10 to 15 partner agencies. So typically a number of departments from the city. So the building department, the health department, the water department. So they are usually there. Usually legal aid is there. Sometimes we have people that come from the food bank, usually the prosecutor's office. So there's a whole list of partner agencies that join us for our neighborhood clinics. We give people a chance to walk around, take materials from the partner agencies that are there, and then I usually talk to people, let them ask me questions for 45 minutes to an hour, and it just gives an opportunity, for me to really hear what the issues are that people are having in the neighborhoods, and then hopefully we can provide information to them that helps them out. So, like you said, our next one is at Olivet Institutional Baptist Church. That is going to be Wednesday, March 20th from 6 to 8. And then if you check out either our website or our Facebook page, we have all of our upcoming neighborhood clinics, as well as our landlord clinics and our tenant clinics.
Okay. And every once in a while, Miss Mariah will put her table up and do voter registration. So
and that's a huge help. I'm trying to figure out a way as well for people who when they move, that among the other information that they get, like changing their address with the post office, that people know that changing their voter registration is important to do right away, because if you haven't changed it, then that is going to, maybe you won't be able to vote if you haven't updated your records.
Right.
So I always appreciate when you come and help people to do that.
Well, I'm feeling better, so it's going to be a
Good.
new year, and I'll be able to help a little bit more,
Good.
I hope. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Good.
All right, so you told me, so there's something new and exciting that you're pursuing to do with the housing court. What is
Yes.
that?
So it's a couple of things, but the primary one is dealing with environmental crimes like dumping. So if you've ever driven around the city and you've just seen like a huge pile of tires or of garbage or construction debris, looking at ways to address that, because the Environmental Crimes Task Force is a group of agencies that work together to really try to combat things like illegal dumping. They also deal with things like people that dump hazardous materials into the lake or into creeks, or otherwise getting it into our water system. So how to address that? And they deal with hundreds of cases every year. there's a court that's similar to housing court in Franklin County, and it's the Franklin County Environmental Court. That court can handle everything to do with felony, with environmental crimes. So they can handle cleanups, they can handle collections cases for the costs, and they can handle the criminal cases even if they're felonies. In Cleveland, we can handle everything except for the felony environmental crimes. And so what I've been doing is working with state representatives and state senators to change Ohio law so that Cleveland Housing Court can have the same authority as the Franklin County Environmental Court does. So I've recently talked to a number of state reps and state senators. Right now there is a bill that's starting in the state Senate. My hope is that that gets introduced and goes through the process and then gets passed by sometime this summer.
Hey, that's great.
So, yeah, and I've been working with a number of people affected for about the last year and a half. So talking to the county prosecutor, county executive, the mayors in both Cleveland and Bracknell, the councils in Cleveland and Bracknell, the Bar Association. So far we've got about 15 different either officials or organizations that have said that they support this change. So really with their support, I'm hoping that this gets passed sometime this summer.
So is that going to put any more of a burden on the housing court by taking those cases? I know it'll alleviate some of the burden from the county courts, but how much pressure or cases would you actually be seeing, do you think?
I expect that we'll probably see maybe 50, 60 cases each year. We handle over 14,000 cases every year in housing court already. So adding on an additional few dozen cases, my staff and I will be able to handle that.
I'm sure the county judges just love you for this.
Judge Russo, the administrative judge, he says it's a good idea. He sent a support letter and said that it makes sense because my staff and I have the expertise in dealing with this type of issue. So the difference is just the level of the crime. But as far as the underlying type of a crime, this is why we were set up as a specialized court. So I hear all the criminal cases myself. What I plan to do is to set up an environmental docket so that way it'll be efficient for the prosecutors and for the enforcement officers. They know that they're going to have a dedicated docket that I'll be hearing those cases, and then that way they know that they only have to be in court on probably one morning a week. The rest of the time they can be out in the field doing their investigation work.
Okay, so my last question for you is,
Yes.
I'm trying to really get across to people to come and sit in court and listen to what's going on and see how, judges are adjudicating cases and things like that. Are you a visitor-friendly court?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And so we have our criminal dockets Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning. Doors open around 9 o'clock. I usually try to give the prosecutor about a half an hour to talk to people before I come out. So we're in 13B in the Justice Center. You can come anytime, and that's the criminal docket. The eviction docket is in courtroom 3A, and that's pretty much Monday through Friday starting at 9 o'clock. So I believe strongly that people should know what's going on in courts. So everyone's always welcome to come down in person. I'm even looking at ways maybe later this year to set up a webcam or something that we would just broadcast our court hearings.
Oh.
I don't want to say for sure that we're doing it because I don't know all the that we can get all the logistics put in place. But people should see what happens in a courtroom. They should see how judges and court staff and prosecutors and defense lawyers all conduct themselves in court.
Well,
So-
you can always utilize Chasing Justice. We would love to come in and film it, and people can watch it and see how you run your court. So if you want me to do some of that, I can do some of that before you get all those logistics and everything ironed out.
You're welcome anytime you want to come.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So I know that it's close to lunchtime, and you have work to do, and justice is waiting, and all that kind of good stuff. And I want to say thank you again for joining us. Remember, guys, share this video, be informed, and come down, sit in Judge O'Leary's court, and observe and see what kind of judge he is. And we need to make better decisions on who's sitting on our seats before we hear something bad about them. So you should be informed prior to that. So I think that people really need to become more engaged, sit in, listen to what's going on, get to know you, so that you have that community relationship. And I think that's really important to build trust back into the justice system. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Sure.
Have a great day, guys. See you later.